Carolinas
to your corner of the world.
We're spinning the dials on DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
Greetings and good evening. Welcome all to DXC Live. Coming to you live from Charleston, South Carolina. We're hoping for some great AMDX tonight. We've got our South Caz up and running. We've got our Southwest Caz up and running. We're going to be hunting Latin America tonight here on DXC Live with a live AMDX session, but we're keeping an eye on FM as well, hearing some possible openings, Tropo-ish. So we're going to be keeping an eye on FM just in case we have to swap over and do some FMDX as well. Hopefully you guys had a chance to catch last night. We had the WION DX test up in Ionia, Michigan. And we actually heard 3 sweep tones from that one. That's all we heard. But we got it. We got the DX test. Always happy to add a new one, especially from a state we have so few of, and Michigan would be in that category. So, happy to have that one in there. We also added CHKT up in Toronto. Hadn't heard them before either. So, the 22x70 Caz is cooking. The 22x64 is cooking. Let's see what we can grab. Let's see what we can grab. All right. Let's get to the live AMDX right now. This hour of our live AMDX is brought to you by the folks at the International Radio Club of America. And that's the IRCA. Well, we didn't get that set up, didn't we? The IRCA. You can check them out, ircaonline.org, for more information. All right, so we're going to sit here. We've got, let me swap this over, folks. Give me 1 second. We turned off our monitors earlier, and whenever we do that, it looks like it swaps them around for some reason. I don't know why. So it comes from a different display, or I don't know. So let's go ahead and transition that one over, and now we can have this one be, I think, there. No. Go back to 2. That's right. And then this needs to be that. Yeah, there we go. And boom. So now we are cooking, ready to roll here on DX Central Live. Sometimes Windows machines, right? All right, so we are ready. Let's go ahead and stop on over to our Latin American spotting frequency. This is what I use for spotting to see if I have any kind of opening into Latin America. It's 1090 kilohertz. The reason is we have 3 very distinct signals from South America that we can use to see what our conditions look like, kind of middle-ish of the band. We have one right here. You'll see on the screen. This is 1089.976. So that's my beloved Peruvians at Radio Vision in Peru. We also have 2 Colombians here at 0151-ish. They're usually somewhere in that 014 to 017-ish range. And then another one right over here at 1090.04-ish is usually the 3 that I use for spotting Latin America. So let's make sure we're on the south wire. We are, and let's roll. So let me show you that difference between the south wire and the southwest. The southwest is hearing the U.S. station, probably KAAY in Little Rock. as I was saying, K-A-A-Y. Then I switch to the south wire. They are gone. And all we have are some Latin stations. So let's see who we got. Let's pop down to... Let's check out... Let's go to one we haven't checked in a while. 1,000. And don't forget, you can please join us. Grab a Radio DX alongside with us. You can chat with us in the chat here on YouTube. If you're hearing something, let us know what you're hearing. If you want us to tune to a frequency or you have something you want us to check out and see if it corresponds, then definitely let us know in the chat. Any other questions you might have. If you have questions about our setup, our software, anything like that, definitely let us know in the chat. Happy to answer any questions you might have. Back to the DX. Very spirited. All right, so we have two Cubans. Now, here in South Carolina where I am, Cubans, if there are Cubans on the frequency, they tend to kind of dominate a bit on that south wire, especially because it's pretty much pointed right at Cuba. Radio Artemisa, hope I pronounced that right, in Artemisa, Cuba, 10 kilowatts. Their normal offset, which this is the offset here, which is how far off from the main frequency they are. Their offset's actually reported as being dead on, right at 1,000. Then there's Radiogramma at 999.999. And that's a little point that I've made before. Cuban stations get a bad rap sometimes for poor engineering and bad transmitters, and their audio can be very bad. Very grainy, distorted, and sloppy. But by and large, when I see Cuban stations on, their carrier offset is just about dead on. So some possibilities could be Cuba. We have a 10 and a 5 kilowatt station here. Could be Mexico. We've got XEOY. I would expect to hear them on this a little bit more, though, the southwest wire, where we have more of Chicago coming in. I could probably phase them out a bit. So Mexico is a possibility with 50 kilowatts. Although surprisingly, Mexico is not a lock here in South Carolina. In South America, we have a 200 kilowatt Brazilian Radio Record in Sao Paulo, 999.981. So I would expect to see them kind of over here in this general area. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing an offset down there. Now, that's not to say it's not them. They're not in there, but the reported offset I'm not seeing popping up on the screen here. We have a couple of Colombians. Cartagena, we've got Radio Nacional. There's a 15 and 10 kilowatt. And a 25 kilowatt Rio Negro out of Argentina. Those are the big power stations we have on this freak.
Las secciones del programa de En Cuba te traigo, aquí te lo traemos hoy de
Super Corona chimes in on the chat. Lets us know there's a weak carrier here in Central Texas at 999.981. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's hope that one comes up for you so you have a chance to pull some audio out. That'd be amazing to get some Brazilians in. Even at 200K, it's still Brazil. And they are located way down here. About 7,200 kilometers from me in South Carolina. So even at 200K, that'd be a haul. Not impossible, but a haul. Much more likely would be Cartagena or either of these Cubans. Could also have, again, the Mexican as well. And just for those of you who are wondering, this is called Jaguar Pro, this software that we're using here. Excuse me, this is version 7 of Jaguar Pro. There's a handful of things this includes in here that makes it kind of an AMDXer's dream. It's software specifically to be used with the Perseus SDR, so it doesn't work with any other SDRs at this time other than Perseus. A couple things that it has, it was built for AMDX specifically, so it's not used for FM or shortwave or any other things like that, like a normal SDR software, such as this ELAD running through SDR console. This is what you're used to seeing for SDR software. Jaguar is completely different. It's built from the ground up to be solely used on AMDX. You have some tools at your disposal. For one, you have a slider here that downloads information. Let me see if I make sure I have the latest. I'm pretty sure I do. I have the April version, but the Turtle database, basically it uses things like medium wave list and others to give us a list of stations that are known on each frequency. It includes offset information, power, format, any kind of slogan information, location, all that kind of stuff. So it helps you identify kind of as a resource of who's on the frequency, especially helpful when we're doing things like we're doing tonight, hunting Latin DX. You'll also notice we have our traditional kind of waterfall, but it's super zoomed in on those offsets so that Jaguar is really used primarily as an offset detector. And there's various reasons why. I won't get into it fully here. We're not doing a product review, but just kind of let you know, offsets are very, very, very important here for this program. There's also, you've seen it here, the map. I use this constantly. This gives me a very good visualization of what I have on the frequency, especially here in Latin America, so I know what I can be looking at, which ones are strong, which ones are not as strong, such as this one 5K station here down here in the Virgin Islands. So you can see very clearly, excuse me, all the stations that are on a frequency and who some likely culprits are that you might be hearing. And it also gives you information about their distance in relation to you once you set up your location. So very, very helpful. I can change frequencies very easily. I have other features I'll show you as we go throughout the night as well. But just a really cool program for AMDX. If you're using a Perseus software, I highly recommend it. All right, back to our station list here. We have, again, the 2 Cubans, a Mexican, and some Colombians that we're potentially looking at here as possibilities. I'm only seeing carriers right here in the middle, which tells me it is very possible we're getting those Cubans. I'm also getting a little hint of Chicago in there. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Using my phaser here. I don't know why she thinks that's... See what we got popping up down here now. Down in the 9.8 region. You see that? This is new. It's getting stronger too. Ooh, that's a little too high. A little bit of balance. That's good enough. All right, so this is our terminated delta loop, our CAS antenna. We have the north-south, which is right now south, with stations to the north being nulled out by a resistor on the back end. We have a southwest wire with stations to the northeast being phased out as well. Let's swap really quick over to the ELAD FDM over here on SDR console. And let's see what the loop is hearing. This is the W6LVP loop. I have it oriented north-south right now. So the same exact direction as our north-south CAS. I want to show you the difference between a terminated loop and a non-terminated loop in a sense.
He's into double digits. He's got
lots of signal here from Chicago.
Wow, that was a challenge pitch right there. One of the less moving pitches, but really strong velocity as we've seen. Pretty much.
You have a little bit of the Latin, you have a lot of the Chicago, right? So if I go back over, let me put myself back on my south wire here. Let's go back to the Perseus. No Chicago, lots of Latins. So this shows you what a terminated loop does. By putting a resistor on that back side, it nulls out interference from that northern side that we don't want. We don't want any stations up north coming in, and we can even use devices such as this guy. This is my Vactrol. It's not operational right now. I've got to get a new outdoor box. Took a lightning hit to the other one. But you have this device, and you can actually use this to dial in the amount of resistance you have in that terminating resistor. So you dial it in until you hear those stations that you don't want to the north. In this case, because I have a north-south antenna, terminations on the north side, I would turn to a frequency like 880 where I have New York to my north, and I would sit here and dial this in until I get the maximum amount of null to my north and get rid of New York, and all I have left is the Latins underneath. So before I even have to worry about a phaser, something like this can help me dial it in. Right now, without this being in operation, what I'm using is a version of this. It's a variable resistor, but it's outside at the antenna, and I've dialed in an amount of resistance here that I think is pretty close to what I'm looking for. So that's the benefit of a terminated loop antenna. You have one side that basically says, stop, don't send me any signals from this way. I want to listen over here. And that's a really powerful thing. So this is our South Cas. You hear no sign of Chicago, nothing but Latins. And I'm putting together a video right now that shows me constructing these two antennas, the 22 by 70 and the 22 by 64 are the dimensions on these. When they started, though, they were 12 by 48. So even on a small lot, I was able to hear Peru, Ecuador, lots of Colombians, Brazil, all of that on a 12 by 48 antenna. I don't want to talk over the DX. I'll tell you guys a story here in a bit. I'm building an FM antenna, a loop, a one element, basically quad. It's a loop antenna, box loop for FM DX. And I've been struggling with how I was going to secure the coax to this wooden frame that I'm building. It's going to be an indoor model. It's going to sit right over here behind me, and I'm going to be able to turn it while I'm doing my DX sessions to go along with my outdoor Yagi and a 4-element quad that I'm going to build next outdoors. But I was struggling. How am I going to secure this coax to this wooden frame? Someone online on Twitter just helped me out and gave me a couple of ideas. And by the way, you should be, if you're not already, definitely follow us on Twitter. It's twitter.com/DXCentral. From there, you'll hear first before anywhere else when we're going to be doing our live streams and other stuff. So make sure you're over there. And now you can be part of the conversation of Lloyd's adventure with the FM antenna that he's building. I'm pretty sure these are Cubans. At least one of them. Keep hearing Cuba. I think that lady talking right there in Spanish is Radio Nacional de Colombia. Sounds very similar to their online stream. not sure who the music is. Again, probably the Cubans. At least one of these has to be.
acercándose a ti si es que quieres donar alimento para perritos o gatitos. Tal vez mañana estemos cerca de tu colonia, cerca de tu mercado. Ponte abusado porque tenemos todavía un gran reto por delante. Estamos buscando juntar 10 toneladas de alimento para poder darles de comer a todos estos animalitos que han sido desterrados en situaciones verdaderamente terribles. Contamos contigo, échanos una patita de solidaridad y pues ya sabes, muy pendiente de los turnos al aire para que sepas dónde estarán las unidades móviles donde podrás ir a donar con todo tu corazón este alimento que tanto están necesitando estas mascotas.
That singing right there.
claras las diferencias entre un ladrón y un ladrón. También escucharemos el dramatizado titular de edición jurídica Los Cartelistas y conversaremos a propósito del tema con el abogado Alain Mojena. Bueno, pues nuestro especialista de cada domingo aquí doy ya las buenas noticias.
Bello tema.
Me propongo que más adelante comencemos a la sintonía del domingo de estaremos complacidos. Gracias por llamar. A veces cuando se usa de manera frecuente hablamos de un trastorno del control de la persona que conlleva al robo compulsivo. Este trastorno es una enfermedad mental que se conoce como juguete. En la actualidad es muy común confundir a un cleptómano con un ladrón que ambos roban, sea de manera profesional o amateur.
The female is talking up front. That's Radio Artemisa in Cuba. Confirmed that with their online stream. Did a comparison there, and it was dead on. I'm pretty sure Radio Grama in Cuba is also in there. Weaker, as you'd expect at 5K compared to 10. And I'm about 90%. I've also got Radio Nacional de Colombia. One of these, either Cartagena or Manizales. I'm not sure which one it is, but probably Cartagena more than likely. And I should have a really good shot at Radio Grandma because they're almost directly in the path of this Kaz. At 169 compared to my antenna's 170.
Por Baranquilla. Muy bien, Pedro. Usted mantenga la sintonía y nosotros con gusto vamos a complacerle más adelante. Buenas noches, Leonardito. De domingo en domingo. Rosalina Martínez García.
¿Cómo está usted?
Muy bien. Martínez García. Desde acá de Reparto Gutiérrez. Martínez García. Mira, quiero que me complacan por Malú. No me provoque. Para dedicárselos a ustedes y a todo el que me escucha. Muy bello. Sí, dedicárselos a mi esposo, a usted y a todo el que me escucha. Gracias.
That gives you kind of a good idea of what I'm working with on my beam with this antenna. If I can get that zoom back on. Oops. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. And doop. So there you go. That's roughly what I'm looking at here on this south wire. It will extend out a bit. But I think it's a little tighter than this 90. Probably somewhere in here. And in here. Somewhere in this range. All right, so we're gonna bounce off of this frequency. Let's check down low. We've checked middle of the band. Let's just see. Obviously, our Cuban at 640 will be here. Radio Progreso, and they are usually pretty much the loudest Cuban I have. Because there's not much else here to really compete with. You'll also hear them on 650. You'll also hear them on 890 and 880. And I think, is it 600? No. 630? Okay, we just got a lot of ID information thrown at us. If any of the folks watching are native Spanish speakers or are able to help translate here for me, please help. Because I'm not a native speaker. I can pick out a few things here and there, but when it's fast like it is right now, it's kind of tough. So I heard Noticias, news. FAM, that's FM. What did you say right there? Aros? I heard the 630, 630. I'm pretty sure this is Puerto Rico. This could be interesting. This could be very interesting. Where did I see that? I don't think it's Brazil. I want it to be. I want it even more to be Panama. But I don't think it's them, even though they're pretty close to my antenna. Pretty sure this is Puerto Rico, but we're gonna give it a good shot here. All right, let me look at my station list. Do I have anybody international? I want one. I want a new one. No. Nobody with that in their name. I'm not seeing any FAMA either. Our candidates include Argentina, not likely. Some Brazilians, moderate likelihood. Chilean, very. Okay. So we just got all internet-y there for a second. He was giving me all these alerts like, we're disconnected. Thanks. I saw that. What? Okay, cool. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thanks, Windows. So we know it's not the Cuban. What now? Okay, fine. Sorry, guys. This thing is blowing up at me. Yeah, I know. I saw. I don't see any U.S. stations either that are likely. So this is definitely Central America, Caribbean, I believe, is what we're targeting here. Let's go back to it. See, that's Radio Progresso. And you can hear them in there weak. But that's not him talking. So here's why we're getting all these lightning crashes. That's not my usual map for him, though. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Gotcha. Thank you. So we've got a match to the online stream. Super Corona let us know. We have a match to the online stream for WNO in Puerto Rico. That's exactly what I was thinking it might be, but I wanted to check it out to make sure. This is one of those, if you don't have Puerto Rico and you haven't logged them on the expanded band where they are, this is a good one. 6:30 is a good one. They do come in quite frequently on the East Coast. Let's pop up 670 is kind of a wash here, and you can see why. Look at that Cuban wall right there. And we still have Miami trying to duke it out with them. And as a result, they give us all this on the Cuban island. So here's something we can do real fast. This is the Southwest Wire. We have WSM in Nashville. On the South Wire, they're still there. So let's try to get rid of them. Let's go ahead and... There we go. Got them. They're still there on the Southwest Wire. I've killed them off at a phasing null. And they'll pop back in every once in a while. You'll get a little weird skywave thing. So that's Progresso. But we also have a Colombian Antenna 2. With their, is that 50? Yeah, 50K station signal down here. That's another possibility that I have heard here in Charleston. Mostly in the winter, but possible. Another good frequency for Puerto Rico, 680. And another Colombian 50K station, Radio Nacional, right here on the northern coast. So one of the easier Colombians to hear. This has been a good frequency for me. Dominican Republic, Radio Samba.
Conversar contigo acerca de esos mitos que a través de los años siguen surgiendo, siguen siendo promocionados, por así decirlo. Por ejemplo, el mito de que no es una familia muy buena. En esa familia no puede existir ningún tipo de abuso.
We'll pull up the WAPA Puerto Rico stream. See if we have a match. We've also had this country music station here lately.
Algo que yo quisiera enfatizar es si un niño o una niña habla de un abuso con un adulto, hay que creer y no asumir que el niño miente o la niña miente. Entonces, yo sí quisiera también indicar que hay otros tipos de violencia, no solo el abuso.
The hope is that he keeps hitting his markers as he had been thus far, but yeah, they're teetering right on the edge of they're going to have to enter uncharted territory in order to win versus doing it in a way that everyone is comfortable with. Now,
no, that can't be right.
Can't do it. I still am.
Do a PTF country? When did that happen?
You can't.
Did I miss something?
Amounts of talent, but they would be doing it in a way that I'm sure.
That's who I'm hearing here. The talk, right? Is the PTF.
Less comfortable with, and it was really not the case. So that's sort of the seesaw that they're riding.
Or is that Atlanta? I bet that's Atlanta.
I think it is, yeah.
So PTF went country? No. I'm not buying that. No, they didn't go country. It's right here on their website. They're still News Talk. Oh. So from 6 o'clock to midnight on Saturdays and Sundays, they have country music. Otherwise, they're news talk. And it's the all-star country show, like classic. It looks like classic country. Let me see here. Listen live. But they're doing that Travis Tritt song. Come on, give me a little live music or live stream here. Station website. So that's where the country comes from. They're not a country station. They just carry it Saturdays and Sundays from 6 to midnight. Huh. Didn't know that.
El Professional Hospital en Guaynabo les informa que el diagnóstico y tratamiento temprano son esenciales para el cuidado de tu salud. Te brindamos nuestra sala de emergencia 24 horas los 7 días de la semana. Medicina interna, dermatología, endocrinología y gastroenterología pediátrica, además de cirugía general, junto a nuestras clínicas de circulación que están trabajando en horario regular. Para más información, comuníquese al 787-740-8787 o búsquenos en Facebook bajo Professional Hospital Guaynabo.
Estamos atravesando tiempos muy difíciles. Inseguridad en el empleo.
All right, we've got a live stream match here for WAPA in Puerto Rico. Jumped in a little late, 760. How was it down here? RC in Colombia, good? Let's take a look. 760. As requested from the chat. N8UUP, Bill Curry, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining in. So here, let's see what we have on 760 on the South Wire. May need to phase out RJ or JR. Yeah, let's phase them out. So we're going to have some Progresso in here.
Longer to recover than others, but those employed in the service industry. Our team, led by Dr. Don Ogle, used the same numbers, the same information the legislature uses to project revenue for the states. We use it to project food insecurity rates.
Who is this?
That information comes to us from the seminar on quantitative economics at the University of Michigan. And recently, Don Grimes from the seminar was our guest here on the show. The USDA has stopped 2 major programs, and that has accounted for almost half of the food we distributed during the pandemic.
Yeah, that's
The
WJR.
combination of these 2 things, the higher food insecurity rates and the loss of food, is the reason the Food Bank Council is in the Michigan Agricultural
See if I can get rid of
Surplus System line item. So we will continue to get more offers for more throughout these days and months ahead. And that's why we'll always try to keep food first, folks. Food first. Food First Michigan. By Farm Bureau of Michigan. Food Bank Council. Creating a food secure city. I'm Jeff Sloan. And host of WJR's Business Beat featuring
Trying to get him out. Wish I had my Vactral right now because the back side of this antenna right at WJR. I can null him out easy with the Vactral. All right, so let's see. I think that's probably Progresso. Yeah. So right now we've got a whole lot of Progresso here on 760. Check that out. Got rid of JR. But we've got a whole handful of Progresso. I mean, AB this. Yeah. No dice on Colombia yet, unfortunately. Sounds like RCM's running sports right now, you said? Okay. Yeah, I'm not hearing that. I'm just hearing this Progresso wall. For me, it's a wall. A 10 kilowatt wall. And whatever this turns out to be. But again, this is the southwest wire. Here. Here's the south wire. Here's the phased. There's somebody else in there. Hey, Vitesse. Welcome back, my friend. Got a good crew in here with us tonight. Hopefully you guys are DXing alongside. All right, so we're going to enter our second hour here now, the 10 to 11 hour of our live AMDX session. We're going to take a quick 5-second break here, and we come back. We'll resume the AMDX and get us started here. So we'll be right back.
DX Central, because we're all about radio.
So I did want to mention the previous hour here, our first hour from 9 to 10 Eastern, was sponsored by the IRCA. And I just wanted to mention that because the folks at the IRCA, and you're going to see here in a moment here, the NRC as well, great members of the DX community have been for years. And so I definitely want to make sure that we talk a bit about the IRCA and the clubs and kind of what they do for the hobby. If you're newer to the hobby, or maybe you were a member at one point and you've kind of let your membership lapse, I highly recommend. Both clubs are worth joining. Absolutely. The IRCA publishes a electronic bulletin with logs and articles and information, and very informative. Those kinds of bulletins that they do and the NRC does, that's how I learned. That's partly how I learned how to DX, was by reading articles from other DXers in the community and seeing what they were hearing and what kind of gear they were using, and that made me want to use, figure out how to use that kind of gear or how to make it, things like that. That's where I learned about CASs, and that's where I learned about SDRs and all that kind of stuff. So definitely make sure you go up to ircaonline.org, click on Join IRCA, and you'll see all the information here. It's $5 for the first year and free after that. So you just kind of send in your $5, get your membership, and you're good to go. And then you can get a sample copy. Just let Phil here know. You see a link. You have your information on dues and things like that. You can write to the club directly if you want to do that, or fill out the membership form. You can pay by PayPal. So definitely make sure you go up here to ircaonline.org. They're great to be putting their name here along with us here on DXC Live. So thank you to the entire crew, Bruce and Phil and everyone there at IRCA for joining on here and kind of understanding what we're trying to do here with DXC Live and spreading the word about AMDX and FMDX So thank you guys. So make sure you go up if you haven't got your membership already. It's super easy, super cheap. I'm a member. I highly recommend that everyone be a member. Go to ircaonline.org and get your membership to the IRCA. Let me make sure. I realized I haven't been showing you the screen here. Just realized that. So yeah, ircaonline.org. Go click right here to join IRCA, and you'll see all the information about what it takes for you to join. There's also, in addition to the bulletin that comes out, there is also a email forum or email group that you get email alerts about DX tests, people talking about DX tips if they're hearing something on that shouldn't be, or good Aurora night, things like that. You can participate in the group. It's a Yahoo group that sends out emails, so you can get those direct and know about all the cool stuff that's going on. So definitely get yourself a membership to IRCA, ircaonline.org, and tell them you heard about it right here on DX Central. We'd love to let them know that their efforts to join up with us here are paying dividends for them. I'm a huge supporter of both clubs, IRCA and NRC, here in the U.S., so thank you to them for jumping on board and being part of what we do right here on DXC Live. Having said that, we're getting ready to go back into more of our second hour here of DX on our live AM DX session. So let's get ready to get that started right now here on DXC Live.
DX Central, because we're all about radio.
And this second hour brought to you by the National Radio Club, NRC, sponsoring our second hour here of the live stream and the live AM DX session. Let's get back to the DX. Make sure you go to nationalradioclub.org for information about joining the NRC. So Bill says this other station we were hearing in the weeds under Radio Progresso was RCN. That's good to know. So what we're hearing right now, this is 640 Radio Progresso. A little different. Super Corona in Central Texas says 760 is owned by XC ABC in Mexico. I hear RCN now. The sports underneath. I hear them. Have I got them on this week? Yes, the YouTube streaming DXer still uses the paper logs. Here's the logbook. Here's the logbook. This is my spiral notebook with every station I've ever heard. Yep, that's them. Thank you, because that's a new one for me. I didn't have Radio Colombia Nacional on this frequency. Thank you. Right. That's Baranquilla. HJAJ. They've now taken over the frequency. This is what I'm talking about. This is the fun stuff that DX can do for us. Nice. Guess what, guys? We have somebody else playing along here. Maybe. The music underneath Colombia is the Cuban espresso. They were 25. Wonderful. Wonderful. Good night so far. Good night so far. Added 2 new ones to the logbook tonight, both in Latin America. That's a great night. If you have another frequency you want us to check out, definitely do. I'm going to hop over to one here for a second and just kind of see what we see. But if you have one in mind you want us to check out to see if it matches what you're hearing or something you've been wanting to check out, looks like we got a nice little window into South America and the Central America and the Caribbean right now, and Latin America. So let us know what you want us to check out. Let's look out 1040.
A mí me parece que no es el motivo de la pregunta, pero a mí me parece que cada día más trabajar se está convirtiendo en el rector de lo que hacen las ciudades y los estados. Tal parecería que la visión del nuevo conservadurismo que querido representar es que we know better. O sea, Cayo Hueso pasa por votación popular, pasa una propuesta de ley y la aceptan de que no quieren que estos barcos cruceros. Ustedes dicen, lo sentimos mucho, nos morimos de la vergüenza, ustedes no saben lo que están haciendo. Ahora en el tema de control, pues especialmente de lo que una ciudad cree, a través de las personas que eligen, de que pues quiere regular este tipo de negocio en las casas, que dicen, lo sentimos mucho, ustedes no saben lo que están haciendo, we know better. Y por eso pudiera seguir, y usted lo sabe, mencionar 10 ejemplos más con MDX, con querían quedarse con el aeropuerto, querían quedarse con el aeropuerto, y poniendo ejemplos de cómo trabajar y están parando el que por cierto es la lengua oficial de ese país y significa idioma común. La practica la totalidad de la población, pero claro que existen más de 56 idiomas en China y otros tantos dialectos, por ejemplo el cantonés es uno de ellos. Muchos se preguntan, ¿se escribe de arriba abajo y de derecha a izquierda? Pues no, aunque algunos lo piensen, porque antes sí se hacía de esa manera. Pero por lo visto ya eso pasó de moda. En la actualidad se escribe de igual forma que en Occidente, lo que hace un tanto más fácil aprender ese idioma, aunque en realidad muchos lo consideran uno de los más difíciles. Les digo otro.
Got a request here, or a question, or a query anyway. Have we logged XEW on 900 in Mexico City? Oof. Well, you heard a nice big bunch of slop there for a second. That was from 910, a local sports station we have here, just to the north of me, here in Charleston. I think we do. Let me go back and look at the spiral log here. I don't think I've put it in on Jaguar, but I'm pretty sure we've heard him here. No, we have not heard him here. Let's give him a shot. Let's move over to the southwest wire and see if we can get him here. So we've gotten a Cuban, we've gotten a Colombian, and now we're chasing after Mexico. Let's see what we can get. We're on our southwest wire, which is 250 degrees, which is within the beam width here at XCW, which is at 237 for me. You see their offset should be sort of in the middle at 899.992. You know, we haven't done an ELAD look here in a while. Let's look at the ELAD as well. We have that one going kind of north-south-ish. But let me just see 900, what we got there on the ELAD on the W6LVP loop. Yeah, we got Progresso there. North-south on the ELAD's got Progresso. So let's take it back over here on the Jaguar, and let's see if we can get on the southwest wire. Last time I heard these guys, I was in Brasstown, so let's see if we can grab them here. Mexico's not super regular here. It has its moments. I think I've logged under 10 Mexican stations from Charleston. Let's see if we can find their online stream here. W Radio. We're doing some talk right now, it sounds like. Yep, that's Progresso that I'm hearing with the strings there. So as I thought, Progresso's kind of taking over here, even on the southwest wire. Definitely, that's the southern wire. You can see I'm pointing right at Cuba now. You see what that it does. Now, this is one of the 50K Progressos, and they're off at 899.992-ish from their 900 kilohertz carrier frequency. So, unlike most of the other Cubans that are pretty much dead on, this one's a little off. Then we go back to the southwest wire, we bring them down again. So that, again, shows you that directionality that we're working with these two Kazas. So I'm listening for some talk. Still so much Progresso. That's how loud they are on that south wire. Shoot. Let me see if I can, let's try to phase these guys out, shall we? Let's, because I definitely have them in both. Let's see if we can get rid of them. I've never tried this. I've never tried phasing out a Cuban. I don't know if I'll even be successful. Let me start with the antenna that's got most of it here, the south wire. I don't even know if anything will be left. I love it when they play the regular music. Here we go. We got him. We got him out of here. Mostly. Check that out. There's Cuba. Phased out. Get yourself a phaser. If you don't have one right now, go up to Gigaparts, HRO, eBay, DX Engineering, wherever you buy your gear. Get you an MFJ 1026 if you have nothing else. I'm using a Langford Mizek right now. It's the same thing, basically. You can achieve very similar results with an MFJ 1026. Go get you one. I have a video up on my channel here that tells you how to modify it and then also how to work it. If you don't have a phaser and you have two antennas, get a phaser. As you can see, look what we just did to Cuba. Will they stay phased? They have to keep tweaking it because Skywave does things. Pull up their stream. Does not progress though. Ads. I don't think this is W Radio because I think they're doing a talk program right now called Let's Listen to Each Other. Yep. They're doing a talk program. Well, I'd love that. I'm kind of doubt it, but I'd love that. What do we have in South America? Now, some of these could be U.S. that just happen to be in Spanish, like La Raza. There's one right there in Delaware, Georgetown. I said La Raza and one shows up on my list. And I did hear them when I was in the Outer Banks. Right here. I heard them. It's a mash now, right? I have to be very careful of Florida stations. They are often very sneaky. But I should be phased away from them right now. If I phase out Cuba, I phase out Florida. And I'm phased out Cuba. I would love that. I take either of these two. So we have one of the tips from the stream saying La Voz de Cali in Cali, Colombia is one of the instrumental ones in here in this mix. The kind of organ-y sound, like organs sounding music. I got you, kind of Herb Albert. Let's see if we can hear Herb Albert type music in here now. And again, Progresso is... They're off the Herb Albert music. It's gonna be tough one to pull out right now. And again, let's go back over here to the ELAD FDM S3 and see what we got coming over here on 900K. I'm going to assume. We're going to check it out here. Yeah, the ELAD, the W6LVP is just getting clobbered by Cuba. And then we switch back over to the CAS, the terminated loop. Gone. Well, once I phased him out, gone. Very eclectic mix out of La Voz de Cali. Got Coast to Coast AM on 850. Charles says possibly or probably KOA. I have never heard KOA in Charleston. Can you believe it? I'll tell you what I've got here. This WPTB in Statesboro, Georgia. This WRUF in Gainesville, Florida. Those are my two usuals. And there's one other that I hear quite a bit. The Raleigh station, the PTK Raleigh. They're kind of an easy listening kind of format. We also have Johnstown, Pennsylvania heard here. Cleveland, Ohio has been heard here. Radio Reloj in Cuba has been heard here. Birmingham, Alabama has been heard here. I spent a lot of time here listening for KOA. I've never heard them here in Charleston. The last time I heard them, I was in Greenville, South Carolina. Here's Radio Reloj. And if you have any requests of what frequency you want us to check out, be sure to let us know in the chat. Don't forget, right now we are doing this live AMDX session sponsored by the National Radio Club of America, or the National Radio Club, since 1933, bringing DX information to the community. Check them out at nationalradioclub.org. Again, that's nationalradioclub.org. I'll be showing you their website here in a few moments as well. Back to the DX we go. Let's check something on the upper end of the band. You know, we one of our earlier live streams, we had been kind of stalking around on 1620, trying to get through the Rebeldi wall, trying to hear Virgin Islands. And I don't think that's them. I would imagine that's Rebeldi, right? Yep, that's Rebeldi. Well, let's see if we can get rid of Rebeldi here. So this is the Southwest Wire Rebeldi. You see they've got about 4 transmitters covering the entirety of the island. I think that station under them is probably Virgin Islands, so let's try. I'm going to try it on the when they're stronger over here first. Try the reverse polarity. Maybe not.
with us. Virgin Islands crew number 103.5.
All right, so we're looking for some of that. That AM 1620, I'm pretty sure that's Gulf Breeze, Florida. Pensacola. Yep. That was Pensacola, Gulf Breeze. So we've got Rebeldy in there. Oh, there's nothing else there, is there? That's got to be Rebeldy.
It's going to be the next batting where Austin Barnes, I should say where Luke Rayleigh would have, so it's...
Yeah, that's Rebeldy. I got excited for a second. I was like, "That's something different," because there was English in there. I forgot they do that. So, I'll tell you from here, Virgin Islands is something that's easiest caught in the morning or sunset. Sunset's usually the best. Right before sunset is what I usually have the best chance at getting them before the Cuban wall really builds in. That's when Virgin Islands pops in. Let's see. What was the frequency I was thinking earlier?
You wait, I tell you, it will be worth the wait. When you wait, he will renew your strength. When you
That's
wait,
Winter Garden all day.
with wings as eagles. When you wait, he will allow you to be drawn closer unto you, unto him rather. So he tells
Well, there's something
us to
underneath.
wait
You hear
on
it?
the Lord and be of good courage. He said he will strengthen your heart. Hallelujah. Then the songwriter came along and said, wait our faith on the Lord. Amen. Will you wait on him today? Will you trust him today? Will you serve him today? Will you do what you need to do?
got nothing else to my south except Radio Senda, San Pedro de Macorís, 1 kilowatt.
When you were trying to work it out, you were like boxing, you were like
in Dominican Republic.
And all of that. But he said, be still, but I'm going to drop your arms. Amen. And allow God to fight your battle. Allow God to do what he wants to do. Allow God to be God in your life. Praise the Lord. Stop striving. To be still and know that God is God. Allow God to be God. Amen. And allow yourself to be yourself. Praise the Lord. Trust him to do what he wants to do in your life. Praise the Lord. And as I close, hallelujah, and as I go to my seat, amen, we're starting this new month. Starting this new year. Amen. This new day. Amen. We got a new moment in time. We have a new opportunity.
It's a tough one. Is 1610 Caribbean Beacon still on the air? That's a blast from my past. I don't think they are. Pretty sure they're not. I think 690 might still be. Maybe not. Yeah, after Gene Scott died, it wasn't long after that. I think it kind of went away. So yeah, I don't think they're still there. Yeah, that was a guaranteed way to get Anguilla, right? We used to actually have the big satellite dish out in the front yard because we lived out in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina in the mountains. And one of the ones we could pick up was we could actually sit there and watch Gene Scott do his thing with the cigars, and we're trying to raise money here, and he'd rant and rave and tell people to send him money and all the stuff you'd hear on the radio. We could actually watch it. And while he was going to the breaks where it was the music playing and there was the guy coming on, send us money. It'd have showing him walking around there in Anguilla on the island with these, very young women, and it was crazy. Very, very crazy. I hadn't thought about that in a long time. So that's Mississippi right there.
Beautiful place that we live in. Coast of Mississippi is this collection.
Have I logged KSTP? Have I logged KSTP? Let me tell you something about KSTP. I've chased these guys religiously because for a long time, the only thing I'd heard on 1500 was DC. And I've tried to hear KSTP to no avail. Now, having said that, let's go swatch it over to the Southwest Wire. Bill says last time he heard Caribbean Beacon was back in 2011. Yeah. Now, on this frequency, let me zoom out a bit. There are a couple of frequencies that give us something really, really cool as an opportunity to log a South American station that is, shall we say, off frequency a bit. This is one of those. You see Radio Santa Rosa here at 1499.75, which is right about here-ish. So they stand out very, very easily as an offset off of the main frequency. So when they're coming in, they can be very easy to hear. So I'm going to swap it over to the South Wire and see if we see them. This is a Peruvian. My friend Paul, who is on Twitter, is AMFMDX Ireland. He was the first one that kind of turned me onto this one and said, if you're looking for Peru, here's a good one, because they just, seriously, it sticks out like a sore thumb way off to the side of the main frequency. They're not really coming in right now. Let me see if I can take a little phase twist here and bring them up. That's another thing that I've noticed with phasers that you can do. It's not just about getting rid of what you don't want. That is part of what they do. You can also, though, use them to bring up things that aren't there otherwise. Because what you're basically doing, you're trying to steer this null, right? Well, sometimes you can, instead of steering the null, you steer the other side. And I have used this technique before to bring very weak stations out of the mud. Now, I leave, in this case, with the Langford Mizek, you adjust the phase of the antennas, because on the Langford Mizek phaser, it assumes both antennas are of equal gain. In this case, they are. They're both 23 dB of gain on Wellbrook FLG 100LN preamps, no problem. So you're not adjusting the volume or the gain like you do, the levels like you do on every other phaser. The quantum phaser, the MFJ, all that already assumes that. So what makes this Langford Mizek phaser so much different is it already assumes that. So what you're doing is you're adjusting the phase of each individual antenna rather than adjusting the phase of them jointly, right? Like you normally do in the phaser. So in this case, I'm adjusting each individual's antenna phase. And by doing so, it kind of lets me steer it around a little bit. I've also done this technique before on a regular like MFJ or quantum phaser type setup, but let me show you what I mean. So watch the screen. I'm leaving my south wire completely untouched. I'm only adjusting the phase of my southwest wire, which is kind of perpendicular to this south wire. But if I can tweak this phase enough, maybe I can boost a little bit towards Peru, because southwest-ish is Peru for me. I'll show you here on the map. Another great thing about this Jaguar Pro program, here is Radio Santa Rosa. Okay, they're 176, so I was wrong. They're not southwest. They're almost directly off of this south wire. So you'd think on the south wire I should have my best shot. So, but if I'm able to bring in a little extra something onto it by adjusting the phase on this southwest wire, let's see what we grab. I had them for a second there. They were coming in pretty nicely. And I think I went too far with it and I lost them. It's very delicate. And I don't even know if this is real. I may just be making this entire thing up in my head. But I tell you, I've done it before. I've sat here and tweaked the phase of one of the antennas in this two-antenna array and watched a signal come from nothing to being there. So, I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm completely scientifically crackpot on this one, but and there should be no reason for it. Maybe it's just fading in naturally. Who knows? But, here he comes. Oh, I went too far. Right about in here is where I think I found him. Let me get that marker off. So this is what we're staring at. Now, on that southern wire, we go to it. Look at that. That peak disappears. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. This is a 170-degree wire. I'm looking at a station that the peak right there is at 176. Not there. I go to my phased option where I introduce a little bit of the southwest wire and I adjust the phase on it to the point where I can try to bring that signal up from the Peruvian. So let me try it. Let me see if I can get him Here, let me go back. Oops, I went too far. 2, 3. They were there for a second. So, again, this may just be naturally them fading in and out. I don't know. But I had a nice peak on them until I went to the south wire, and then they went away. Which is weird. And it was holding when I was on this phase. But these things change so frequent. Watch when I pull up my spectra view, you'll see it kind of fading in and coming out, right? So it's definitely in the mix, but it's just super duper weak right now. Oh, I went too far. There they are. If I leave it in this area more often than not, I think the peak will start to show. I hope. Let's see what we hear here. We've got 3 carriers. We've got one here at 1500.083. Let's see if I can get. I got rid of them. Didn't I? No.
I think it is listed in most states in your registration. You're looking on a website at a marketplace, whether they're private sellers or car lots or whatever, if they don't show you a VIN number for the car, don't consider that car. I mean, there is definitely these days for a seller not to disclose what the VIN number is, so you can go look for a recall. You want to make sure it hasn't been an insurance company that can effectively pay off the car as a total loss.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything else there. There's something weak in there, but I'm not able to pull them out. I don't think it's KSTP. Excuse me. Sorry to yawn on you there. So this is one of those frequencies where you have it offset way off by itself down in South America. This is another one, 1510. Keep your eye on this one because in this neck of the woods, we have Radio Monumental. Now, they're not so far out of whack that it's kind of like, what? But 1509.9893, which is right around here-ish. So I think it's this guy right here. The tricky part about this one is getting rid of LAC, as you'd imagine. To be LAC in Nashville, especially where I am, pretty big signal.
In business who use it.
That's on the southwest wire. Here's on the south wire. A little less.
A year ago.
Kind of pointing in their general direction, pointing away from them. So, when I logged these guys last year, I used SDR Sharp in my AirSpy HF Plus Discovery, and I used the AM code channel counselor to get rid of WLAC as an interference point, and then what I was left with was Ecuador. So it's kind of working like a phaser. So let me see if I can phase out LAC here and see if we have any hint in doing so. By getting rid of them, does that open up Ecuador to come up?
You don't have to take my word for it. They keep winning Editor's Choice Awards. You just got the...
And when you hear them, you'll know them immediately because it's just very distinct.
For best backup solution, and I just got it for 2021 too. Wow. Simple to use. It's affordable. It's strong encryption. It They've got local backup and cloud backup, and one low price, $6 a month, gives you so much storage you'll never run out, and it's for everything you've got: PCs, Macs, Windows, Android, iOS, everything. I even have it on my network attached storage. It's cloud backup because something will really awful happens. Fire, floods, replacements. You still got your data. This is the best.
Let's see. We got Ecuador, guys. Ecuador is in the house.
iDrive.com. Use my name, Leo. It's the industry best.
I love that. I've already heard him before, but it's still a thrill.
George in Los Angeles.
Right there at 177 degrees. Let me see if I can bring him in a little bit better.
What can I do for you today?
I gave you this little a scenario that I'm looking for. Do you have any idea what to tell you?
Tell me because I have a bad habit.
LAC is a tough null.
And anyway, nobody listening knows where it is in it, so go ahead. What is it?
If I had an antenna plugged into that air spy right now, I'd demonstrate it. The co-channel canceler. Comment from Charles on the chat talking about finally getting it to work. I'd totally show you.
There's a privacy where you can toggle the microphone on application. So that's fine.
We got him.
It's a little different with USB mic.
So this is a great one if you're looking for Ecuador. Their live stream. And their music is very distinct, guys. It's very Andes Mountains, right? Very Ecuador. Very Ecuador. Every time I've ever heard them, it's always stuff like this. It has no... It doesn't sound like Cuban. It doesn't sound like Colombian or Tejano. It's very distinct.
Esa canción que ya cuando usted se llega hacia la casa. That's what I need. And I think
They're on the South Wire.
You know, harmonica microphone. They have a little small capsule microphone. The MT88. I use several of them. MOTIV. That's the motive line for sure. Hey, that's it for me. I'm out of time, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, LAC is a tough no.
I'll see you again next week. We'll talk about cars and space and photography and all the stuff that we talk about every week and latest tech news. I might have my air tags been in. So we'll be able to talk about that. Leo, the Fort D Tech Guy, please stay safe and have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Oh, look at that jump up.
Listen online at WLAC.com or your smartphone with iHeartRadio. Get the free app now at WLAC.com. For small business owners and independent contractors, Victor's taxes are never ending. Annual and quarterly reports, state and federal filings, constant changes to what businesses can and cannot write off.
They're in there.
Non-stop and frustrating.
They're not as loud because the music is not as loud right now. They're just talking, which is always the hardest part to hear on a weaker signal.
Year-round tax advice.
But he's there.
Tax prep and tax filing for under $200 a month without any unexpected costs. It starts with one.
Top of the hour, right?
Just dial 1-800-ACCOUNTANT. We'll pair you with a dedicated accountant that knows your state, industry, and strategies to save you thousands annually. Small businesses save an average of over $12,000 each year in taxes alone.
God, I want that ID so bad.
Dial 1-800-ACCOUNTANT and mention this radio.
But what happens? LAC is going to be a big fanfare with all their noise.
Save more on taxes and spend less on accounting. Dial 1-800-ACCOUNTANT.
Oh, my goodness. It was right there. It was right there. And I thought I heard it Ecuador, but oh, it was right there, guys. I want that air check. I want that ID air check so bad for my collection. That's what I really, really want. I want one from every country, essentially. It goes back to my father and I would do that with QSLs on ham radio. The electronic QSLs are great, wonderful. We love them, but I at least want one QSL print in hand from every country, right? I'm the same. I'm that way with AM. I want at least one air check from every country. I want that Ecuador so bad. I want that Peruvian too on 1090. And let's finish up our night there. Let's go back down there one more time and check them out and see if we're getting anything from our Peruvian friends. As a reminder, that last hour of a live AMDX session was brought to you by our friends at the National Radio Club, NRC. I've been a member since I began DXing AM radio. I have this handy-dandy little mug that I got back in the 90s. I still use it as a pencil holder to this day. And it is, let me see, National... I can type nationalradioclub.org. And this is, since 1933, they've been the kind of original DX club for AMDX. They publish the National Radio Club NRC AM log that comes out every year. Right now, this edition is sold out. The next one's coming up in August. Can't wait. Do my annual underline session. They still print DX News, which I have a copy right here, which you can see on the camera there. And you can see there is everything in here from, just like with the IRCA and the DX monitor, you have a East Coast U.S. Domestic logs, West Coast U.S. domestic logs. I think IRCA also does a central. You have international DX in here as well. You have different articles that will come in as well. You'll have things like this month they had the networks for baseball, the different stations carrying baseball games on each team's network. You have they do a graveyard record, so who's the furthest person to log each graveyard frequency station, all kinds of stuff. So definitely, we talked about the IRCA earlier. Very, very easy to get a membership for them. Very, very cost effective. The NRC membership, as you would expect, there's a couple of different options. You can get a membership for just the electronic version. You can also get the print version, like I get here. And so if you go in, you'll see you have different options. Your DX News subscription for one member living in the U.S., 20 issues per year, sent by first-class mail, is about $45 plus $1 for PayPal. In Canada, that's about $55. Outside of the North American continent, you're looking at about $70 per year. EDX News, which is the electronic version of this guy in PDF format, essentially, you add a little extra $5 access fee on there. If it's just that by itself, it's $15. So, but you also get discounts on all their publications, like the NRC log, the antenna pattern book, things like that. You get discounts. I think IRCA does discounts for their public members as well for their publications. So, again, this is how I learned how to DX. It was my father teaching me. It was me teaching myself, and it was this right here, the DX News, reading through this bulletin every time one came out, and I'm obsessing with, oh wow, here's all the things people are hearing. Another thing that both clubs do in NRC is called the AM switch. That's where you'll see updates to station information. Let me go full cam here so you can see. This is where they publish updates to station information, call letter changes, format changes, power level changes, anything that would change like in the NRC log, you get to see it here in AM Switch. So highly, 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 highly recommend. Join both clubs. There's no reason not to. At least join one. Your choice, which one you pick. They've both been very gracious to help sponsor us here on the live DX sessions and be part of what we're doing here. They see what we're doing with DXC Live, and they understand how important it is to adopt new technology here in the DX hobby. So that's what we're trying to do, is adopt new technology into it. So they've seen that, and they are supporters of DXC Live. So please, please, please support them. They're not paying us any money for any of this, by the way. They're getting these for free because they're the clubs. Because I believe very, very strongly that we need to get the word out about these clubs so that other DXers can take advantage of the information that they have. So please, by all means, support the clubs. NRC, IRCA. IRCA is electronic only. NRC has an electronic only option, but also this print option as well if you are so inclined. Again, nationalradioclub.org is the NRC website for more details on membership. So that's going to conclude our second hour of DX. Let's take a quick break. I'm going to put us in standby for a few minutes. We're going to take a stretch break for a second, get a refill on our water here, and then we'll come back and we'll do a little bit more for you guys. So don't go away. We'll be back. We're not going to terminate the stream here. We're going to be back in just a few minutes, just a real quick stretch break, and then we'll be right back here on DXC Live with more great DX. Stand by.
PX Central, because we're all about radio.
All right, so we are back. Oh, man. And a little bonus time tonight. I was going to do 2 hours. But let's do some bonus time here. And see if we can get something else. We have Ecuador. Let's recap. So we pulled in a couple of new things tonight. We pulled in a Colombian on 760 that we hadn't logged here before. That was cool. Sorry, I just had a little peanut butter, so my mouth's kind of like chewy right now. We picked up a new Cuban, believe it or not, that I never logged before. This one on 1,000 kilohertz, radio Artemisa in Cuba. We picked up again the Colombian on 760 that we hadn't heard before. We'd also heard some of Ecuador here a few minutes ago before we took our break. We heard Ecuador coming in from South America on 1510 kilohertz. So that's I kind of was talking about, let me get this guy down here. There we go. Put away my DX news. We talked a bit about how we have these South American stations that are just slightly off frequency. So, think of here I'm on 1090 right now. You see I have two big spikes here, one on the left, one on the right. And both of those are South Americans. This one's a Peruvian and this one's Colombian. So thought I was going to sneeze, but I didn't. So that is a way, if you're coming in on a frequency and you see these kind of spikes off to the side, if it's one of the Colombians or Ecuadorians or Peruvian or whoever it is, they can help you grab those because they're, easier to find. And if you can get rid of the pest stations that are kind of adjacent to them, you can really help bring them out a little bit and be able to hear them. So we just did on 1510, we nulled out or tried to null out, got a good bit of null out of WLAC. Now I got the hiccups. WLAC in Nashville. And in doing so, we were able to bring up Ecuador enough to the point where we were able to compare it to their online stream and see that it was them. We had the distinct Ecuadorian music and everything was hunky-dory and we were good to go. So that's a little tip for South Americans. Not all, but there are a handful of them that are kind of off frequency. 1500 is one. You have Radio Santa Rosa in Peru. That is like at 1499.75, I think. So they're full 2 kc and a half down. You've got Radio Monumental in Ecuador with like 1509.98 something. It's far enough off that it can be noticeable. Here on 1090, I've got 1089.975, 976. That is Peru, Radio Vision. And here you'll see a nice big spike here at 1090.0165. Let's go live and hear that sucker because that's the loud one. It's going to be Blue Radio Blue in Cartagena. And one way that you can kind of tell what you're getting here is you could actually, I'll get to the chat here in a second, you can actually zero beat in on one of these carriers and then flip to upper or lower sideband. In this case, I'm going to go to upper sideband here, keep it upper, because if I go to lower sideband, I'll be getting some of this in here. But if I go to upper sideband, now what I'm basically listening to is only everything from this offset up, okay? So by listening to only everything from this offset up, if I'm zero beat here or zero beat on that carrier frequency and the audio is pristine and it sounds like I'm right on frequency, then I know that's what I'm hearing. The audio I'm hearing is that carrier. If it's kind of muffled a little bit or sounds a little wobbly or whatever, then what I'm hearing is not that carrier. So that's one way that I've been able to kind of finagle that. So if you're talking about a carrier below your frequency, go lower sideband. If it's above your frequency, go upper sideband, and then zero beat on that offset and see what your audio sounds like. If the audio is right on freak, you're good to go. If it has that kind of off freak sideband sound, what you're hearing is not the carrier that you're on. So just a little tip there for you. Let's demonstrate that. Let's go down here to 1089.976, swap it in the lower sideband. So let's go to the chat. So I got a couple folks still here with us here on the chat. We have Canadian Radio TV guy, too early here in the West for medium wave DX. You guys just got your sunset, right? We've been here since around 0300. So we have up in here in Vancouver, they're still in daylight. Seattle, Vancouver area, they're still up in some daylight. Most of the West Coast is just in or just closed into sunset. So conditions are starting to develop now for AMDX, right? You're really starting to, you had some sunset enhancement, but now it's really starting to kind of pick up a bit, and you're starting to get that skywave propagation now on the West Coast. So some things you can look for. Obviously, we're on a Latin hunt tonight. Whatever you're hearing, tell us what you're hearing. Domestic, DX, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, let us know what you're hearing. Obviously, you're probably looking at, depending on where you are on the West Coast, some Mexican stations. But also don't discount these west coast of South Americas. This Radio Vision in Peru, only 2 kilowatt. They're in Tumbes, but they put out a hell of a signal. This is them right here, this 9752. That's them, believe it or not. And I'm going to see if I can get them peaked in a bit more. Let me... They would be right at 182 degrees, which is about 12 degrees off the side of my CAS antenna, which is beamed at 170 degrees. Nothing on that one. Let me see if I can pull them in here a little bit. Doop, doop, doop. Here we go. Oh, not much. Yeah, there's not much there. Ooh, yeah. See if I can steer this towards them. Let me go back the other way. There. Whoa. Right there, Lloyd. Now let's see if we can tweak that up. Nope. All right. So here's demonstrating what I was talking about earlier. I'm adjusting the phase on my antennas to see if I can dial in a signal that's otherwise not really all that strong. Now, it's still not hugely strong. That's not audible. What you see there is probably not audible. Let me go to my Spectra waterfall display. Yeah, not really all that audible there. You see a lot of missing little chunks in there. It's kind of blocky. But I can use a phaser, not just for nulling out stuff. I use it quite often to pull up a signal. I'll just adjust my phase until I get the signal where I want it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it brought him up a little bit because here is unphased. Oh, the south wire's got him a little bit better now. Good, good, good. Let's see if we can hear anything out of him yet. Canadian radio TV guy also says, "Stop! You're making me crave peanut butter." I was there right where you are now. That's why I had to go get some. Ooh. Come on, let that stay. By the way, root beer goes great with peanut butter. Blue radio was nice and strong up here, weren't they? And now they're just kind of fading out. Not sure what's going on there. We also have our good friend Bill still on the stream with us. Bill, N8UUP. Hey, Bill. I think the other rare South American station I hear in Michigan is Venezuela on 780 Radio Coro. That was the first Venezuelan I heard, too. I'll tell you a story about that or show you what I mean here in a minute. I think the callers are YVMN. That is true. Tough one here in the WBBM Chicago. No, yeah, because BBM's to your south, right? So if you know them, you're knowing Venezuela. We'll go check them out here. Yeah, let's just go down there now. So this is the southwest wire. South wire. I actually have a video up on my YouTube channel. I'll see if I can find a link in the chat. When I first heard Radio Coro, I was doing a comparison of the on-air signal to the Kiwi SDR located in Transworld Radio Bonaire, which is right off the coast of Venezuela and right off the coast of Coro, the city in Venezuela where Radio Coro is from. And I was bouncing back and forth between the two. And there was like a second or so difference between them. Normally streams are way lagged behind, but these Kiwi SDRs are pretty close to real time. So I was able to like almost finish, like they were singing the song and I would be on the on-air and then I'd go to the stream and it would almost finish the sentence, right, of what they were singing. It was just instantaneous. It got me tickled. It was just really cool to finally get that country in the log and do so in kind of a cool way like that, so... Bill's to the west. I'm sorry. You're right. Chicago's to your west. Sometimes my geography forgets. Lightning is getting crazy again. Let's pull up our live lightning map here. You'll see it right here. Look at all that. It's blitzertongue.org. So right now, between us and Venezuela here, where I'm trying to hear is a whole lot of lightning. Summertime conditions. We're not even in the summer yet, and it's already there. Well, that's weird. My Radio Coro video looks like it's disappeared. I don't know where it went. I'm not seeing it on my channel anymore. Videos. Let me see if I have Coro on here anywhere. Nope. It should be right about there. Oh, there it is. Found it. I'll link this here in the chat. That way you guys can see it. Bill, this is the first time I heard Venezuela. This was live as I was hearing it. What I just linked in the chat. You'll get a kick out of that one. Charles says KRVN is coming in like it's local. Well, almost on 880. So you'll hear here, obviously we have a ton of lightning crashes again, but that weak Spanish station is probably Coro in Venezuela. I've heard them a couple times here. They are the loudest Venezuelan I have here by far. This is most likely Progresso. espresso. Even on the Southwest Wire by itself, there's ABC Week. So we got a little New York in there, a whole lot of Cuba, especially when I go South Wire. That's gotta be New York. Yeah, that's New York. One of my favorite frequencies to listen to, and it's one I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to this summer. You're going to see me on these live streams. Come back to this one quite a bit. 870. Normally, it is New Orleans.
A different kind of adversity.
On the South Wire, it's Cuba. Who's that? I know who the Spanish talking is. I know who that is. That's New Orleans. The Spanish talking is Rouleau. Now, the other day I did hear Radio La Vega in Dominican Republic. But there's something else I'm chasing here.
Learn what it takes to get there. The perfect example is 3-4 years ago when they had an unbelievable defense. Jacksonville, they were rolling through everyone. They had New England down. They had them on the turf. They didn't understand that it.
See if I can phase out New Orleans.
And they had people in the locker room that thought just by getting to that championship game, they had reached some level of success. Because of that, their organization is never going to take the next step unless Urban and people like
look at that. We
the mentality
nothing but New Orleans. Right?
Hard it is for any professional team to get to that final game, and which makes Belichick and those guys unbelievable how they've done it.
So who is this? No. Doesn't that sound like what we were hearing? No. Doesn't that sound like what we were hearing, that music?
Get to that final game, and which makes Belichick and those guys unbelievable how they've done it. Around the mentality.
That. My friends, I'm very, very interested to know who that is, because there's a station on 870 I'm chasing religiously, and it's This one right here. Radio Nacional, Buenos Aires, Argentina, 7,800 kilometers from Charleston, sitting at 161 degrees, just off a little east of my 170 degree CAS. So well in the beam width, super, super far, south of the equator, trans-equatorial, right? And you see where I would expect to see the offset is somewhere right in here. Well, here's their stream. I sure feel like that sounds a lot like what we were hearing.
Level with which you have to work to get to where you want to be. And he's not the only guy with the only work ethic that can show you how to get there. But what's the difference in that organization?
Oh, can't see the SDR screen. I forgot to turn it over. Sorry. You can see it now. That's Buenos Aires. I hear that harmonica still. Weak. $100 kilowatts. It's like the longest song ever. So the beeping you're hearing here is Radio Reloj Vitesse in Cuba. You'll hear the. Let me see if I can hear the woodblock sound. That's the seconds. Top of the hour, you'll hear a beep, and then the RR in Morse code. And this is them talking, the Spanish talking. You'll hear them at the top of the minute here say Radio Reloj.
Sabre 6-3.
Still playing the same song. You hearing the same thing on 960? The Radio Reloj is on 960 as well, 950 and a couple others. I want that Argentine so bad. So bad. They're not there anymore.
Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. At WoundedWarriorProject.org.
Hey everybody, Jay Carter here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies.
Normally, Cuba is a lot louder on this frequency. Rouleau is dominant here in Charleston on 870, especially on the South Wire. I have very little New Orleans there, and Rouleau just blows it out. They're talking right now. There's not a music thing going on. Oh, yeah, okay. Sundays, I forgot. Sundays, Cuba does chimes at the top of the minute, in addition to Morse code, or sometimes in replacement of. But there seems to be no rhyme or reason to it. Like it was Morse code earlier on Sunday. Now, still Sunday, we're back on chimes. Fernando, were you talking about the live stream down here? Because if you were hearing that on the radio part, oh. So I'm trying to. I want them bad. They're the top of my list right now. Argentina is top. Tweaking my phase a bit. So this talking that you hear, the male and the female talking back and forth, that's news, noticias out of Radio Reloj in Cuba. So her and him, those are Cuba. So Canadian radio TV guy asking, what have we DX so far tonight? It's been a fun one. Let me do a quick recap here for you. So stabilize. Radio Artemisa in Artemisa, Cuba on 1000. We got them, brand new one for me. Hadn't heard them before. Excuse me. 760. This was a viewer requested frequency to see if we were hearing these guys, and we did. Never heard log them before. Radio Colombia Nacional in Baranquilla on 760. We had heard a lot of RCN, but not on 760. So that was a new one for us. Pretty excited when I got that one. We also did on 1510. We were able to hear Ecuador, Radio Monumental out of Quito. We were able to phase LAC to be LAC in Nashville enough to be able to get rid of them, just to hear the music coming up from Ecuador, match that up to the online stream, perfect match. So we got Ecuador, we got Colombia, we got Cuba, we had a Dominican, we had Puerto Rico, a couple of Puerto Ricans coming through, a whole bunch of Cubans. We were trying for Venezuela earlier, 780 rather. Let's see if it's any better now.
Athletic opportunities by being forced to compete
get better beat on them.
Transgender sprinters. WVDM News Time, 10:26, Tuesday afternoon.
Michael Kopech hustled into the start from the right side. Texas 8-4. The series at Guaranteed Race Field in the process. Now it was thought that Kopech replacing Lucas Giolito, who had an injured finger, would only go about 4 innings. In fact, he went 5, and he struck out 10, qualified for his first win as a starter since August of 2018. The 10 strikeouts over 5 innings impressive enough. Kopech trying not to dwell on it.
I'm happy with the strikeout, but I wouldn't say that I'm
I think that's Bonaire, or Venezuela. Underneath them.
Nick Manhubel scored a couple of runs as well. 7-1.
For some reason, if you watch that video I have in the chat link, Radio Coro on this Transworld Radio Bonaire SDR was like next door, right? Super loud, like a local. Now, I don't have that. I don't know if Coro's still on the air. If they were at full power, this one would be getting it because they're right off the coast. I mean, it's like Bonaire is like right here, right? Somewhere in here. I can tell you exactly where if I go here. Right there. I knew I was close. So, you see, here's where Bonaire is. It should be loud. There's no Cubans here. There's a Haitian. Probably not hearing them. Maybe we're hearing these guys. I've heard them before. Radio Viva Pasto. I mean, it's possible that's Coro, but I would really expect that to be much louder over here in Bonaire. I'm not hearing anything there, hardly, on that freak. There's a het, actually. Yeah, they have a het even on 781 that I'm not seeing. Way over here, though, I got one. Look at that, 780.37. Who that? La Voz de Dios, Cali, Colombia. But that's so weak, that's not who I'm hearing here. That's way too weak. Let me zoom in a bit. I definitely feel like that accordion style is very Venezuelan from the music I've heard on Radio Coro on Coro. So is it possible we have Venezuela here? Maybe. Possibly, at least. I think it's worth a look. Spend some time there and see. But not hearing anything on Bonaire is kind of weird. I don't know if they're still on the air right now. If Bonaire's not hearing them, that really doesn't bode well. Unless they've changed their antenna to a point where, it's not picking up great on AM, which it used to be fantastic. I used to hear deep into South America from there, but we'll see. So we've got about 8 more minutes left. We're going to do here on the live stream. So if you have any requests, be sure to go into the chat and let us know. Let me come over here. We're going to remind you guys this third hour, is being brought to you by the folks at teakpublishing.com. They just released a new book, The Global Radio Guide, which has information on shortwave radio. Nice little video here. Check this. Not bad, eh? So the Global Radio Guide, Gail Van Horn, mom, just came out on Thursday. You can go to teakpublishing.com, get the link, and scroll down until you'll see the Buy It Now link. That'll take you to the Amazon page. It's already #1 in craft and hobby reference. It's already climbed up pretty good. Chock full of stuff on shortwave. There's some AM information there. So a lot of good stuff. So make sure you check it out. Cheap Publishing. I'm having a hard time talking right now because I have this echo in my headset. Let me do that. teakpublishing.com is your website to get more information about the Global Radio Guide or any of their publications. Make sure you check them out, teakpublishing.com. They are helping to head up this third hour of the live AMDX session. All right, let's go back to, let's check the ELAD. We haven't done that in a while. That's got to be Progresso, right? Yeah. Let's see what they're hearing.
53 past each hour from the Bloomberg Newsroom, Tom Busby, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
Sometimes the customer comes to our store and thinks our prices are really high.
All right, yeah, we're just getting BBM on 780. So I'm hearing that head, though, that they are in Borneo. That's Colombia. So that's good. That La Voz de Dios, 10 kilowatt. That's the head that you're hearing here when I'm on lower, upper sideband especially. Ooh, wow. That's a loud one. Let me back off here a bit. Zoom. Yeah, look at that. And now that's gone. Right, we zero beat in on that carrier. The head's gone. Mostly. So what we're hearing here is probably them. So there's a tip for you. La Voz de Dios 780.3765. Nice signal coming in right now. 376569. Way out there though. Almost halfway to the next to 781. If you're hearing it, let us know. You should have a kind of a dull het on 780. Let me let you hear that again here. It's not a full K. It's not that like you hear on like 890 for 891. It's not that full K het. It's a little off, 400 hertz ish. There you go. And it's also showing here on the ELAD. You can see it here, right there. It's showing 782. No, that's 780.4. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right here. 780.3 something, 3738. You can see it right there. So that's coming in. That should be easy to be heard in other locations on the East Coast, I would say. Tune that in. I'm trying to zero beat it. If I zoom in anymore, I lose it. If I go to lower sideband, now the head is 780. We also have a 780.02. Could be. Zoom in that bit. No, they're down here. So Canadian radio TV guy here on the chat mentions never able to fall asleep. So got into radio at 5 years old, started with AM DXing. When I was 11, eventually got into shortwave listening, turning 18 this summer. Very cool. Always either up late at night DXing or listening to Coast AM on local 630 CHED here in Alberta, Canada. I told the story earlier to somebody. One of the coolest DX nights I've ever had in my entire life. We have these frequencies that you listen to, and you kind of get to know them. We'll go ahead and stop this here. The recording here. You get to know these frequencies because it's usually the same people over and over and over that you hear, right? Clear channel stations, or there's just like one or two stations that might be there, or your locals or whatever. You tune to it, you know who it is going to be. Well, I was doing one night, a little late night session. I got to 1140, and I was like, WRVA in Virginia. That was my normal common station that I was always hearing there every single time. And on this one particular night, the content I was hearing was clearly not WRVA, which is kind of a news talk, kind of coast-to-coast radio and coast-to-coast AM and stuff like that. And it wasn't anything like that. And so it got my attention. I was like, ooh, that's something new. And just kind of tuning in, listening, and ended up hearing an ID. Just let me get it for you here. See if I can grab it here. Should be pretty close up to the front. But there it is. Back when we used to collect QSLs. Can you see that one? 1140. CHRB. They're in High River, Alberta. December 11th, 1999. And I was blown away. I couldn't believe what I was hearing because I was living in North Carolina at the time and wasn't getting Virginia. I was probably, I think I was 20 or about to be. I was 19. I was 19 when I heard this. So was hearing no Virginia, which I expected to hear, especially since I lived in North Carolina, which is right there near Virginia. And instead I was hearing Montana. Okay. Go away, Siri. I was hearing Alberta, right there north of Montana. And couldn't believe it. And it was just one of those really cool moments where you get something you never think you would ever get. And you get excited. And I went up on the internet, the infancy days of the internet back then, and jumped on some of the AMDX forums. I was like, Alberta's coming in 1140 on the East Coast right now. Go find it. And I think some people did. And it was just one of those really, really great nights that we all want to have when we're DXing. So stick with it, man. I went to college, kind of got away from it for a while. And then about 8 years or so, got back into it. And so glad that I did. It's definitely a different game now than it used to be with SDRs, and people don't QSL anymore, really, and for the most part. And, IQ recordings and then all the streaming stuff that we have now that we can compare to. But it's a great hobby. Definitely, stick with it. Stay on our channel here. We're always putting up stuff to teach and educate and help people get more out of the hobby. Our live streams, these live DX sessions, hopefully you get something out of that to kind of show you what all is there and techniques and things like that. So Appreciate you being here with us tonight and being part of the group. I kind of got started the same way, just a bedside clock radio. Tuned in from I was living in New Orleans, tuned in to KMOX and 1120 out of St. Louis, Missouri, and was blown away. I was like, I can hear Missouri from New Orleans on a clock radio? What? And I grew up in a family that listens to shortwave radio and talks to astronauts and the space shuttle and, tunes in satellites and all kinds of stuff. And you'd think I'd be blown away by that, but it was a station just north of me up the river on AM radio, on a clock radio. That's what kind of snagged me. So, and here I am all these years later. So good to hear that you're part of the fun stuff that we have here on AM radio. So I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Lightning crashes are getting pretty rough here, and it's getting late. Got work tomorrow, kind of thing, and like a lot of you folks do. So I know our western half of the country folks, keep DXing. Tell us what you're hearing. Keep commenting on the videos here. Even when we have this replay back up on the YouTube channel, you can always continue to comment, say, here's what I was hearing after you went to bed, Lloyd, blah, 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 blah. Just let us know. We're all about sharing information here at DX Central, including, options of here's what they sound like. If you get air checks, you can always comment on the chat or on the comments on the video of air checks that you grab of stuff that you're hearing while you're DXing with us, or, after we've packed it up for the night. Be sure to go to our website, dxcentralonline.com, for more information on the hobby. We have great information on AM and FM DX there. A glossary of terms, abbreviations, commonly used abbreviations, information on propagation, gear, all kinds of stuff. So definitely check us out, dxcentralonline.com, for more information as well. You'll see the website link or address here on our overlay here on the screen. That's going to do it, though, for us for tonight for DXC Live. I want to thank the folks at the National Radio Club and the International Radio Club of America for sponsoring our live AMDX sessions for this evening, as well as the good folks at Teague Publishing. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for your support on our third hour here, our bonus hour that we did. So appreciate all of you being here. Don't forget, if this video has been helpful for you, there's something that you can do that will mean a lot to me and the success of this YouTube channel. And what would that be? Awesome. And don't forget, you can also find us on Twitter, twitter.com/DXCentral. If you would like to follow us there, we announce all of our live streams there first. That's the first place you're going to hear when we do a live stream is on Twitter. We announce it there. Then we go to the Facebook groups. Those are MWDX from the National Radio Club, I Love AM Radio, and AMDXing. Those are the three Facebook groups that I put content up in. If you have a Facebook group that you like, let us know. Go on Twitter and let us know a Facebook group that you like for AMDX. We'll check it out. Always looking for new places to put out our information and share stuff with folks. So definitely let us know places you like to frequent. I actually kind of dabbled my toes in this weekend to Reddit. I'd looked at Reddit before, had some not so great experiences there, but dabbled my toes into Reddit for AMDX. Not a whole lot there, but looking for anywhere that DXers gather and share information so that I can share my information. So thank you all for your participation this evening. We'll catch you on the next one. Again, twitter.com/DXCentral. That's where we're going to announce when we do our next session. Until next time, my friends, 73 Best of DX, and you guys keep hitting the bands. I'm going to bed. See you later.